Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another LEGO Train MOC showcase video. This is a very unique build, especially for me. This is the FS Class 743. Now, 743 might just be the number of the locomotive, but that's what came up when I was researching this particular locomotive. It's really interesting to look at. There are some additional details that I have added myself, like the white stripes, for example. They are not on the real thing, but it brings up some more colour, kind of brings it alive a little bit more, gives it some character and looks quite nice. So I discovered this locomotive in one of the newer series of Thomas and Friends, or one of the new special even. So one of the new characters that was introduced is called Lorenzo, and this is the locomotive he's based on. And I've said this in the past, I come back to Thomas and Friends when there's a new series every so often just to look at the new characters, look at the new locomotives in turn, and this is something that took my eye, and I thought, you know what, I need to make this. And fascinatingly, nobody else has built this locomotive out of Lego. So in its own way, this is a world's first. Well, not that's been documented online at least, so yeah, that's pretty cool. But this does look really interesting, and there is a lot to go over, so let's actually get into it. So, this is Italian. I think I said that earlier in the video, but yeah, just in case, this is Italian. First built in 1911 up to 1923, so it's really old. But it's holding its age. It looks pretty damn good, especially in comparison to today's locomotives. Big old buffers here at the front, which I think look pretty damn good. There is a lot of resemblance to German steam locomotives with the red base and the black body. But I'm not calling that a bad thing, but it was a bit weird, you know. It kind of looks like a German locomotive, especially with the length of the tender, the kind of shape of the whole thing. The only kind of standout piece is this funnel here, which we will get to in just a second. Just want to go over all the wheel details. This has 8 wheels, which is quite nice because I don't have a lot of train models that feature more than 6. So to see something like this is really nice. It's a pleasant addition as well. Alright, let's talk about it. So there's nothing going on up here. It's bold. It looks kind of weird to look at a train like this. So these are the funnels. These two sloped things up here and the tubes along the side. Yep, those are the actual funnels. So when all the steam is being made, and instead of it coming out here, it goes a little bit further and comes out through the side. And these are sloped, so if I turn it this way, without the shadow casting on the train, you can see the 2 funnel pieces here. If I try and better demonstrate it with my fingers, so instead of it going upwards like that, they go inwards. I can't even do that. But yeah, they go inwards basically, and that's what makes it look really interesting. And that was quite difficult to pull off because these are 2x2 round brick pieces and some special cylinder bricks along here where I have a Technic pin connecting it to the boiler. So it's quite sturdy, looking pretty good, but it's only connected here. I have a Technic rod across the middle of all these bricks along here, and I also have one of these sort of rod things, but I don't know what you would call that. What would you call that? Just a rod? Yeah, let's go with that. So one of those is there, and I've done that because it would allow me to kind of slope these inwards and create that accurate look. If I kept the cross-axle pieces in, these would go directly up, and that would stick out and look weird, so I kind of had to decide either structural integrity or a more accurate look. Went for the more accurate look, obviously, because this is what you see here, and it does work. I just have to be careful when it comes to picking up the model, because I can't really pick up here, otherwise the piece will fall off. Nonetheless, it works. I'm very happy. Now, there are lots of kind of smaller details kind of littering the boiler, especially the back area. So because the bricks are really chunky, all I've done is just add these smaller round details just along the back here. Nothing really special, nothing stands out, but I think it kind of fills that space. Again, makes it look a little bit more busy, gives it some more character, and looks really nice. So as a whole, this front unit looks pretty damn good. I am not too sure how long this is going to live though, because this was made on like my remaining parts. This has been like the first engine I've built in a while, and I'm worried. It's unique. It's cool to see something like this, but I'm worried. I don't want to have to take this apart. If I want to make another train, I need to just buy more bricks. Keep the trains I've got. Something I kind of need to remind myself more and more often. So yeah, that's the boiler done. Let's go on to the tender. Oh, actually, just before we go to the tender, we need to go to the cab, because these white stripes carry on from the cab area, which I think looks pretty good. There are some shape problems with the cab. You can't see it because the bricks are black. But if you were to type in FS Class 743 on Google Images or whatever, you can see this sort of detail here where it's supposed to be like a curve, like a C, and it's supposed to be really smooth. But I can't really replicate that because, again, bricks are chunky and they're very square. So I've got those tiny 1x1 slopes in place, and it's not too bad, but you can tell, you know, the squareness of it's not really too good. And if I get this off, we have a proper interior. Minifigure out, details in there. Very good. I've had to make some compromises with my other models as well. I've nicked a few of these slope bricks from other models. I haven't made a bricklink order in a while, so definitely have to get some more of these when I make my next one. So yeah, that's the cab done. Now we can actually go on to the tender. First of all, very easy removal. This is a 7 long Technic pin because it goes to about here, just behind this rear driving wheel. So I had to add a piece that was long enough for it to connect to the tender, as well as give enough wiggle room for it to go around corners. Because if the pin started here instead of here where it actually is, that could just create articulation problems when it goes into the corners and overhang, that's it. Yeah, one problem can lead to another, so I had to decide, yeah, there would be a lot easier. The tender is, again, like I mentioned earlier, it has resemblance to German steam locomotives, where it's a kind of standard rectangular box and a kind of thinner detail on the top where you can visibly see the coal. And so I thought, right, I need to kind of bring this out a little bit more. So it would stop about here, but instead I've added these slope bricks again, just to, you know, add them in. Also because I had to kind of make a compromise again with the tiles I had. I am all out of smooth tiles. I need to make more orders. But again, I'm going to leave that all for future models. And for the however manyth time, these white stripes, they are not supposed to be on the real engine, but this is a personal touch. I think it brings out a lot better than it would be if it was just plain black. And another thing is, you know, you look at Thomas characters, they are based on real locomotives, and the liveries are just crazy. Like, the character that this engine is based on isn't black and red, instead he's blue. And Rebecca, which is a West Country class, isn't green or black, she is yellow with hints of red and orange, which does look pretty good. So yeah, you can argue whatever you want, but at the end of the day, if you're going to be making your own train model, you may as well just do what you want with it. So yeah, that's what I've decided to do. This is a very remarkable train. I am pleased with myself with how this turned out, because there were definitely some fragile elements, again going with sort of this build area here and having to make the compromises. It's weird, but I'm happy with it. So yeah, there we go. That is the latest steam locomotive on my railway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.